Welcome back. Crewe against Liverpool from the third round of the FA Cup. It's live on Sky Sports tonight. Ron, quick prediction.
I'd take Liverpool by a couple of goals, I would think. I think the very fact that Crewe are a footballing side will work in their favour. I don't think we're going to see what happened to Arsenal this afternoon. But
you never know in the FA Cup. That Carlsberg Man of the Match telephone number 0898 500 125. 0898 500 125. Just got a glimpse of the tunnel there. Let's go and join our commentary team as the teams take the pitch. Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
The FA Cup once more is proving that it can turn football dreams into reality. And now it's the opportunity for Crewe Alexandra to see if they are capable of finding the road to romance. The first pictures of John Barnes back for Liverpool, missing since he left the field at Main Road on August the 21st. Achilles problems and more recently a calf strain. And he may well be a lucky omen for Liverpool. He's never lost playing in a third-round FA Cup tie. The Crewe side has an air of youth about it, particularly in 19-year-old Steve Walters, a graduate of the FA school at Liverpool, and 21-year-old Craig Hignett, who served a 2-year apprenticeship at Anfield, but then was released by Liverpool. Right back, Gus Wilson is the brother of Clive of Queen's Park Rangers. Dale Jasper, once of Chelsea, starts for only the third time this season because Crewe, like their opponents tonight, have fallen foul of injuries, particularly missing two big forwards of wide experience, Ron Futcher and Stuart Evans.
And with Ron Futcher and Stuart Evans missing, it has forced Dario Gradi to move Rob Edwards from a wide position to partner Tony Naylor up front. But they will look for Craig Hignett, number 7, to get in and support them.
Well, for Liverpool, it's not a case of John Barnes being rushed back by Graham Souness because of other injuries. The manager has left out Gary Ablett to accommodate the availability of Barnes for the first time since August. Steve Nicol switches to left back. There's also a return for Steve McManaman, who's been taken out of the firing line recently. There are two former Crewe players of very different eras in this side, Rob Jones, of course, and Bruce Grobbelaar, who played his last game for the Alex back in May 1980 and scored with a penalty.
And Graham Souness at last able to field a side that looks far stronger than many he's been able to field this year. The big story, obviously, number 10, John Barnes. How fit is he? How long will he last?
Craig Hignett, who had those 2 years as a Liverpool junior, was bitterly disappointed when he was really shown the door out of Anfield, but he has an opportunity to prove them wrong tonight. And Dave McKerney, the left-back for Crewe, also has a Liverpool connection. Believe it or not, he's still a Liverpool season ticket holder. He has tickets at the Kemlyn Road end at Anfield, but he hasn't had to pay to see the club he supports tonight.
Probably worth it for him just to see them in midweek matches, Martin. Hopes that they're not drawn in the same day in cup ties.
Bruce Grobbelaar had his first experience of the English game in terms of playing in the league with Crewe, and very popular he was here at the end of the 70s. But John Barnes, who's played just one comeback game in Liverpool's B team last Saturday, but as Graham Souness says, he's been looking marvellously sharp in training.
Well, I think that must be the key thing, Martin, because I do feel, and I think you and I were talking beforehand about whether John Barnes would play and would he be substitute. I think we all felt he would be on the bench and be used a little bit later, just to give him first team match practice, if you like. But obviously Graham Souness feels he's right there, bang up with it, and he's selected him right from the beginning.
Terry Holbrook from Wolverhampton is the referee tonight. Well, Rob Jones, who played for Crewe against Liverpool last season in the League Cup. The deal worth originally £300,000. Another 75,000 has come from Merseyside here after Jones completed 10 appearances, and there's a package that could reach £650,000 in total. So Liverpool, as I'm sure you've worked out, have changed to their second strip of all green. And they kick off. Certainly what happened at Wrexham will be in the minds of both sets of players. Crewe, as has already been stressed in our pre-game show, very much a passing team, and that could suit Liverpool.
I think both managers will definitely have used the Wrexham-Arsenal result in their pre-match talks. You can be sure Dario Gradi would be saying to his players, you only have to look at that to see what you can achieve. Graham Souness, on the other hand, will be saying to his players, don't take anything for granted, especially after Peterborough.
That is Liverpool's only defeat in 15 games now. What a painful one it was. Well, will lightning strike twice? Here's Gus Wilson. He's the oldest of the Crewe players, but it's his first season as a full-time professional. He's 28. Tony Naylor, the leading scorer, 14 goals so far. And Steve Nicol just having to stretch to get the ball back to Grobbelaar. Jan Molby is wearing number 3 in the centre of midfield with Michael Thomas. McManaman up alongside Dean Saunders, and Barnes playing wide on the left, although there has been some gossip on Merseyside that maybe John Barnes will be given a central striking role over the next few weeks. It's a job that he's done before for Liverpool and for England, of course, and it's a job that he likes. Offside against Saunders.
That's the one thing that I do feel that Crewe will have to watch tonight. It's the pace of Dean Saunders and Steve McManaman. Both as quick as you're likely to find playing up front, and it'll be very important for Crewe to keep their eye on them.
In that League Cup meeting last season was 5-1 at Anfield to Liverpool, 4-1 here in the second leg. Molby, whose passing ability is almost peerless in the English game. Houghton, who's been so consistent in an ever-changing season for Liverpool. Here's Saunders. Liverpool trying to give their performance a fast start. Fired up, I'm sure, and absolutely determined that the problems they had at Peterborough won't be repeated here at Gresty Road, Crewe, right alongside the main railway line, which is the historical reason for Crewe existing as a town.
Well, the one thing's for sure, we won't be hearing the trains in here tonight if this noise continues.
McManaman, as he was challenged by Aaron Callaghan. Nicol backpedaling. Hignett right with him, but Nicol was able to keep his eye on the ball. Here's Hignett, who's a very confident character, as you'd expect from a Scouser. Inclined to try the outrageous on the field. Rob Jones. The Crewe supporters are proud of him and what he's achieved already. Houghton, here's Nicol. He's left Hignett. And coming in was Thomas, who of course got to the semi-final of the FA Cup with Arsenal last season.
And this is typical of Liverpool, isn't it? Coming forward, looking for a midfield player to get in there in an attacking position. And Michael Thomas not very far away from being on the end of that.
Where Crewe have had to rather change their philosophy is up front. Tony Naylor would always be there, but it's Rob Edwards who's partnering him tonight, who often operates wider on the left-hand side.
What's obvious, Martin, is the lack of height they do have up front, so you can understand that they will try and play it into both Naylor and Edwards' feet, because really if they knock it up there, you can see Mark Wright and Tanner just heading it back all night.
Hignett. Look at that, the confidence. And Kearney, touched back by Edwards. Mark Gardner, the captain, who's just recovered his fitness after a knee problem. Got back in the team at the right time. Took on the captaincy earlier this season. Dean Greygoose, in the Crewe goal last season, saved a John Barnes penalty.
Well, they may have saved it last season, but I bet you won't be one to face one tonight.
Dario Gradi, his manager, said, what's the use of doing that in a game that we lose 5-1, save it for something more significant.
You tell the goalkeeper that.
Here's McManaman.
If he's let in 5, Martin, he'd be delighted to save a John Barnes penalty.
Mulvey, Nichols free, and Steve Walters got in quickly. Here's Hignett. Naylor ahead of him. It's played over Tanner, and Naylor trying to get it down, and is taken from behind by Nicky Tanner. The draw for the next round takes Tanner, if he gets through, to face his old club Bristol Rovers.
No doubt about the free kick, though. Nicky Tanner just a little bit over inches. Got caught out, basically wrong side of the defender there. And Crewe were almost in.
Caught out, and very nearly an expensive mistake as he tries to get used to the pace of first-team football again. Saunders, Mulvey, and McManaman's drifted to the left this time, and Liverpool have 4 forward here. Crewe struggling to keep their shape. Barnes shoots. It's blocked by Dale Jasper. Barnes again. McManaman. Saunders was waiting on the far side. Gardner got there before him. Here's Houghton. Nickel. Lovely passing from Liverpool. And Callaghan just stopping Steve Nicol getting clear to round off a move of some authority.
Yes, we all thought before the game, Martin, that we would get a nice game of football. Both teams trying to play. We've seen that already. This is a beautiful move from Liverpool. All about running off the ball. Steve Nicol, who started the move, is just thwarted by Aaron Callaghan at the last minute. But the game's opened up beautifully.
Here's Saunders. Thomas joining McManaman in the centre. Barnes waiting on the edge of the area for Houghton's cross, which is too close to the goalkeeper from Liverpool's perspective.
You almost feel disappointed when that happens, even after only a few minutes of the game. Somebody giving an aimless ball away.
Mulvey, Houghton, now McManaman, and Saunders and Crewe finding defending. Awkward already. But if they can get a share of possession, they can certainly play. There was an offside against Naylor, which is why the whistle has gone. Gardner complaining about a handball, but the referee had spotted the flag.
But you can see the pattern, can't you? Both sides, every time they have the ball, looking to pass and move and play football.
This could turn out to be a real pageant for the purists. McManaman, Liverpool have taken the lead. After 9 minutes in which the shape of the evening has been well and truly set.
Yeah, and really no surprise that the goal has come early. Rob Jones in his old ground lays a lovely ball to Steve McManaman, and Darren Carr just doesn't get there. Goes to close it down, but it's just a little bit short with his challenge, and that's all McManaman needs, and beats Crewe on his near post.
Well, Crewe are very proud of their youth policy here, but it's one who's come through the ranks at Anfield. There are never too many of those with money available in the transfer market, but Steve McManaman really has sparkled in Liverpool's time of need this season. Played many more games at this stage than he would have expected in the summer, and how good he's looked. Mulby. Mark Wright. Saunders making Darren Carr really work, and he got there first, Thomas. And well held by Grey Goose. There's a tide of fine football flowing towards this goal and this goalkeeper.
I know they like to play football, Martin, but Crewe have got to be careful. They've got to just compose themselves, say, let's keep it tight for the next 10, 15 minutes, not concede another. Otherwise, you can see this really turning into a rout.
Here's Naylor. Hignett has got some space. Edwards in the middle, and he was offside, in fact. Rob Edwards had just got too far forward. Saunders. Saunders leaving Carr again. Houghton, McManaman and Barnes trying to make space in the centre. And Jones very much involved. Mulby offside, and that must have been very close. Mulby. Leaving Walters. Here's McManaman. Collective movement allied to individual skills. It's desperately difficult to stop, as Crewe are finding out. Saunders. Callahan got in the way just in time. Saunders wasn't listening to the appeals from the crowd and played to the whistle, which wasn't blown. Mulby. Really just what Graham Souness would have wanted this.
Oh, definitely. After being knocked out of the League Cup by Peterborough, and a real shock result, he would have wanted his team to get a quick goal and really show all the confidence of Liverpool of old, really, Martin. They're knocking it about quite beautifully. The movement off the ball is superb, and just at this moment, Crewe are finding it very difficult. As most first teams in the first division have found throughout the years. When Liverpool are in this type of form, that's what they've got to do. Hustle the ball as much as possible. Put Liverpool under pressure.
A second goal, as Arsenal know to their cost, is imperative, though, for Liverpool. Arsenal almost played with the same authority in the first half at Wrexham, but only got the one, and the rest is now firmly embedded in the history books.
Yeah, it's not all about playing wonderful football, this FA Cup, is it? It's about results.
bring Wilson in. Wilson, in fact, has lost his balance, but Crewe have regained the ball. Crewe standing currently 8th in the 4th division. They were relegated from the 3rd last season, despite impressing observers with their intentions. Dario Gradi does believe in the philosophy of passing the ball and movement off it, very much at his level, a Liverpool equivalent.
I think there's many people believe that Crewe would be better suited in a higher league, isn't there, Martin? The way they try to play football all the time is sometimes not suitable for the league that they're in.
But there is a stability in the structure of the club here that allows the management to play the way that they feel is proper, the way the fans want them to play, to entertain. Dario Gradi is 18 months into a 10-year contract as manager here. Saunders, it's well read by Jasper. They might find this very fast indeed. He's been out of action for a long time with injury. And to come into the midfield on a night when Liverpool are really buzzing. Well, not going to be anything too pleasant, but Walters has got it back in that area. And Naylor in a race here with Grobbelaar that he gives up on from Rob Edwards' attempted pass.
Well, it's definitely the best way back for them is to try and win the ball as high up the park as they can, just like that. Put the man in the ball under pressure and try and win it up the park. If they stand off and let Liverpool play, Martin, the form that they certainly look as if they're in the early part of this game, you really think that Liverpool will make them pay eventually.
If you've just joined us, Liverpool already a goal up from Steve McManaman after 9 minutes. Just took his eye off the ball. He was well aware of what was on around him and indeed the room that he was given. Well, Edwards was ducking down. Quick free kick. Aim for Naylor, who wasn't quite as alert as Rob Edwards.
He's quite happy to come out of that with his head intact.
Mulby. Now Nicol. Saunders is offside. Well, Darren Carr has just had some good news. He's going to be a dad for the first time. Congratulations to him and his wife, Stephanie. But the bad news is he's got to cope with Dean Saunders tonight. And Saunders, like all the Liverpool players, has made an electrifying start here.
Yeah, he'll be hoping his new arrival doesn't give him as much trouble as Saunders and McManaman seem to be giving them at the moment.
Nicol. Mulby. Jones is the outlet again. Gardner going across to try and get a challenge in on his old teammate. Rob Jones really is a great example for all the Crewe young players that he's left behind, and indeed the others even younger who are on the scheme here, the YTS scheme and the schoolboy forms as well. They're very thorough in that department, this club.
Yeah, and you can bet he would probably have been one of the most nervous players before the game started as well, Martin, coming back to his old stomping ground as a Liverpool player.
Dave McKerney, who walked in one day a couple of years ago after being released by Bolton and asked for a trial. And was taken on and has shown himself to be a very efficient left-back in the lower divisions. He's a bright lad too. 10 O-levels and 4 A-levels, and if Crewe weren't going to take him on, he said he was going to study in America, which rather took Dario Gradi by surprise.
Far too intelligent to be playing football, isn't he?
Saunders got to it, and that's a great tackle by Carr on McManaman.
I'll tell you what, Martin, this is a great tackle. Steve McManaman, as I said, one of the quickest players around. But look at Darren Carr there. Gave him a yard, made it up and got his tackle in. That was superb defending.
Well, the opening 20 minutes have really flown by here. And whatever the outcome, it's going to be a hugely entertaining evening. We've seen that already. Hignett. Nicely done on the left by Naylor. But the problem for Crewe are trying to provide some movement of their own up front is that they keep running into the offside ploy.
They have been unlucky, and you do feel that Craig Hignett on the right side, coming from slightly deeper, Martin, if the ball is on the Crewe left, is the man that might just time his run a little bit better and get in one of these through balls.
McManaman. Oh, and Carr missed his kick that time. McManaman's got Houghton just inside him. Saunders around the penalty spot. Houghton and McManaman going their own way, and that's handball by Ray Houghton. And, well, it ended eyeball to eyeball with Dave McKerney.
Yeah, well, I think this is ample evidence that this is a fiercely contested cup tie as well as a good football match.
And how dare Ray Houghton look at a Liverpool season ticket holder like that?
Dave McKerney's probably slaughtered him a few times when he's been watching him.
Well, Ray Houghton wouldn't have given him too many opportunities to do that the way he's been playing. But here come Crewe. And Hignett has got a sighted goal. And he's taken the wind out of Nichols' sails. Still Hignett. Right, didn't get there. Naylor was taken a bit by surprise because of that. And Steve Nicholl needs to get his breath back. It was hammered at him by Hignett. But that was a shade more promising for Crewe.
Oh yeah, they certainly got in there and got Craig Hignett into a good, promising position. One thing that disappoints me here, Martin, he has it there. He doesn't really shift the ball to one side or the other. He's looking at Steve Nicholl and he just throws it straight at him. I would love to have seen him just shift it right or left to create a little angle for himself and a little bit of space, and it might have opened up.
We've been talking about the goals that Naylor and Edwards have got. We shouldn't forget that Hignett has also got 11 this season.
I think that's the thing you notice when you look through this side that Crewe have put out tonight. There are basically goals in every department. And when you've got that in your side, at 1-0, you've always got a chance of getting back in it.
Yes, the only outfield player in the side that hasn't scored for Dario Gradi this season is Dale Jasper, who's been missing for so much of it with injury. Wilson. Flicked on by Hignett. Naylor, and Hignett's away. Edwards is in the middle, and Grobbelaar sensed that that was the area that Hignett would be aiming for towards the far post where Edwards was coming in.
Well, they combined quite beautifully there, Hignett and Naylor, to free Hignett on the right side, and his ball just a little bit too close to Bruce Grobbelaar. But the last couple of incidents will certainly be confidence boosting for Crewe.
Mulby. And Houghton. Grey Goose started to come and wisely went back. Barnes. Good tackle by Gus Wilson, who facially is very like his brother Clive, but his right-footed, where Clive, of course, on Queen's Park Rangers is very left-sided. the first signs that Crewe are starting to come to terms with their task. Tanner. We had 10 minutes when the traffic was all one way.
Yeah, I think they've done what I wanted them to do, Martin, after losing a goal, and that was just to settle, try and compose themselves, not concede another, and then gradually do something that will get the confidence back. And certainly the last two situations have done that.
Thomas Saunders on it in a flash. Is it 2 for Liverpool? It might yet be, and Carr concedes the corner as Saunders unselfishly looked for Barnes.
I can't believe this, Martin, honestly. I would have put money on Dean Saunders just cocking his foot back there and drilling that straight at the goalkeeper into the far corner. I couldn't believe it when he chose the option to pass in that situation.
Saunders to take the corner himself. Mark Wright's got a free header, and it's off the line by Edwards. Oh, Barnes got the last touch. 2-0. And without a great deal of fuss and celebration, John Barnes is back with a goal.
Yes, it's a typical John Barnes goal. Just watch him there, number 10, right in front of your picture, little flick. I mean, that is why Liverpool have missed John Barnes so much. I mean, it all starts, this is a super header from Mark Wright. I think it might have even come off the post there. And as it comes drilled back in, that's quality.
And here's Hignett. Well, it's 2-0, and Barnes did that brilliantly. Such was the speed of the ball as it flashed in. It almost looked at first sight as though it hit Barnes and went in, but the replay made it absolutely clear that Barnes improvised in an inspired way. And he's back to illuminate the game, and Liverpool in particular. Grobbelaar's catch. And after that mishap against Peterborough, he's going to make sure that everything sticks tonight.
But what a cruel blow for Crewe, Martin. Just when they were having the best spell of the game, had created two good situations for themselves. They must have thought they were right back in the match. They concede a goal to the genius of John Barnes.
Nicol. Oh, Gardner's have got problems. Thomas. Who can he pick out here? It's Ray Houghton. It's Houghton again. And Grey Goose gratefully claims it. Doesn't draw breath. Crewe are thinking of making a change. Dale Jasper is struggling in the middle of midfield. And who wouldn't against Liverpool in this vein? You wonder how many they're going to end up with tonight if they sustain it. Barnes again! It's 3-2 for Barnes. And they're ruining Crewe's hopes tonight.
Well, it is really beginning to turn into it. But watch Barnes here. This is for all kids to watch, Martin. Plays the pass off, but doesn't stand around. Gets himself into a goal-scoring position. Steve McManaman cuts it back beautifully. And how's this? Might not be strong foot, but that's a great finish.
28 minutes. Crewe 0, Liverpool 3. John Barnes 2 now to add to the opening goal from Steve McManaman, and Colin Rose has come on in place of the unfortunate Dale Jasper. This is Hignett, who's cropping up all over the place.
Well, Ron Atkinson did say in his pre-match comments that he felt that the style of play that Crewe use may be their undoing. It certainly is looking like that, Martin. They play a lot of lovely football, but what they haven't been able to do is cope with Liverpool when they've had the ball.
And Graham Souness should receive great credit, really, for taking what must be something of a gamble with John Barnes. If he was to break down, critics would be quick to say, well, why did you use him? There was no great need to bring him back. You could expect to win the game without him. As it is, they're destroying Crewe with the brilliance of Barnes. Offside, and a brief respite for Crewe.
Yeah, but there's one thing it's never worried Graham Souness in his life, it's criticism, that's for sure.
And he's never been frightened to take the bold decision. He's taking it all very phlegmatically so far. Naylor. Still Naylor. And one thing you can be sure of, that Crewe will continue to try and play. They will continue to look for goals, and on this occasion they came as close as they've done so far.
Yeah, brilliant little run, really was, from Tony Naylor. What he did do, he did shift the ball to create the angle for himself. But it really was good defending from Liverpool.
Gardner to take the corner. Carr and Callaghan away from the picture you were looking at there, which is Walters and Naylor right inside the goal area. Edwards. Here's Gardner. And there are three breaking for Liverpool here. Saunders on the ball, McManaman up with him. Thomas to the right. Here's Michael Thomas against McKerney in more ways than one.
Yeah, wonderful break, but Michael Thomas just a little bit casual there, Mark, with his final ball.
But not casual with the corner, which was delivered quickly. Recognising the percentage in the short ball. Nicol looks for Thomas again, and that time he was rather matter-of-fact. But John Barnes has now got an extraordinary record this season. He scored on the opening day of the season against Oldham, the only full game that he's played. He came off against Manchester City in the midweek after that, and here he is hoping to complete a second game of the season, and he's got 3 goals to his tally, 2 of them tonight.
It's no wonder then that they've been complaining about being outmarked and how they've missed his contribution, not only as a goal scorer but as a goal creator.
Graham Souness has been very consistent in saying, judge us when we're all fit, and he's quite entitled to say that. And more are coming off the treatment table. It's Mulby. It's 3 against 1 momentarily. And the linesman has ruled that there's an offside. And Mulby, who relies much more on finesse than his physique suggests, was a little more tank-like in that
I tell
attack.
you what, the goalkeeper deserves a medal for bravery there. Jan Mulby steaming into him at full pelt.
Naylor, who's done well with limited opportunity. It's his first season in the first team as a regular, and he's improving all the time.
Yeah, and there's a little reason why he's got 14 goals already this season. Always in the danger area, he's prepared to turn, go at people and get his shots in.
He's 24 now, Tony Naylor, a product of the non-league scene. Didn't really have an education in the game. And the same can be said about Gus Wilson, who's treated with no respect there by Dean Saunders.
That would have been a good old-fashioned shoulder charge in your day, wouldn't it?
Well, I think we can say in the day of Dean Saunders' father, Roy, who also played for Liverpool a bit before my time.
Not much, though.
Unusual family double, though, in the FA Cup. Father and son for Liverpool, the Saunders family. Here's Wright. You might have thought that he got his first goal for Liverpool when he came upfield in the move that led to the first Barnes goal. Here's McManaman looking for his second. Carr trying to keep up with him. And Saunders, no! He followed it in very well. That was an example to forwards. He just wasn't watching McManaman, but he couldn't quite get there.
No, he does the right thing though, Steve McManaman. It goes across the goalkeeper, and that's the advantage when we talk about it, Martin, of going across goalkeepers, is that if you don't quite hit it right, or the goalkeeper gets a hand to it, it gives your other striker or midfield players who are backing you up a chance to get in on the end of it.
There was one ball at Villa Park yesterday, was it Mark Blake who played it, that no one quite attacked for Villa like that. If they had done, they might have got a goal, but I wouldn't ask you to comment on that, Andy. Here's Walters, the young man who was at the FA school at Lilleshall. Hignett now has been switched to the left-hand side, with Rose playing more on the right. And Gardner has gone into the centre of the midfield alongside Walters. Here he is. Jones, who must be relaxed by now, I would think, after those nerves he was expressing before the game started. Saunders. Barnes asked to show just how much sharpness he has. Still probably a bit to come in that respect.
Yeah, it's true that, Martin, because no matter how much training you do, when you come back from injury, actually on the training ground, I'm not so sure if that's out either. I think John Barnes done an injustice here and actually did catch it. But you never, ever make up for it until you're back playing.
Saunders squeezing it through for McManaman. Grey Goose comes out, and Callahan gets it to the goalkeeper, who could have been somewhat stranded then, but Aaron Callahan will claim he knew exactly where Dean Grey Goose was. It was hardly time to reflect on that before Liverpool pick up the tempo again. It's delivered in by Saunders. Well, that tells its own story. Crewe have had their shots, though. They have been more impressive in attack than in defence. Rose is offside. He's only 19. It's almost as if Liverpool have decided to reassert things here, not just for themselves, but for all the First Division clubs who were humbled on Saturday.
I think what might be in evidence as well tonight, Martin, I always felt it was amazing on Saturday, watching games on television, how I felt that First Division sides, probably in particular, and lots of teams, looked a little bit jaded, didn't look quite as fresh as they should be going into the third round of the FA Cup.
Well, John Barnes is on a hat-trick. And Grey Goose prevents it on this occasion. Well, just to come back was a big enough story, but he really is going to have the headlines to himself tomorrow. John Barnes, 2 goals in the bank, and you wouldn't bet against him getting the third. Jones. Mulvey linking up with Wright. Mulvey tries to curl it, and Grey Goose saw it coming and just got to it. And when he did, he held on exceptionally well.
Oh, superb football. Both the attempt from Jan Mulvey and the save from Dean Grey Goose. That's heading for the top corner. Wasn't content just to push it round either, Martin. Got both hands on it and kept hold of it. Super save.
There's an arrogance in the best sense about Jan Mulvey's football. He really does believe he can beat any goalkeeper from that position. Well, Crewe are contributing here, but Liverpool really are lauding it. And the incentive now, as I'm sure Graham Souness will say to them at half-time, is just to sustain it and turn it into an absolute masterclass. The Crewe have other ideas. Walters, that's a great pass. And Hignett couldn't quite collect it. And who stopped him? His former roommate, Rob Jones.
I tell you what, though, he's unlucky, Craig Hignett. I do believe he thought Jan Molby was going to cut it out, Martin, and he just checked for a second, and that was enough for him to allow Rob Jones to get back in and make the tackle.
Barnes momentarily at left-back. Nickel ahead of him. Houghton has come through the centre. So many options on for Liverpool at the moment. Thomas able to let it run to Molby. Houghton. McManaman. Well, as a result, for this cup tie, it's no longer in doubt, is it? But it's going to be extremely captivating now to see how many they get. There's an offside. It's offside. Saunders.
I'll tell you what, Martin, I would like to see that again. But I'll tell you what it was. This would arguably have been one of the best goals ever seen on this ground in terms of the amount of passes that they have put together there. And I'll be very surprised if the linesman wasn't wrong there.
Well, Saunders, who was on the move forward, he has proved his worth to Liverpool more readily in cup competitions this season, particularly, of course, in Europe, where he's already set a new Liverpool record. Molby. Well, there is such thing as overconfidence, and twice now, in a matter of seconds, Jan Molby has rather sloppily given the ball away. Callahan. It's not exactly what Crewe are used to, day in, day out in the 4th division, this. And they came into tonight's match having won 7 of their last 8 games. Genuine candidates to regain a place in the 3rd division. Crewe 0, Liverpool 3. McManaman, Barnes 2. Edwards. Now Gardner, but Liverpool forcing him back in the shape of Thomas. It's Michael Thomas's 5th start for Liverpool tonight. Rose. Can he get away from Nicol? Coming on to this is Rob Edwards. It's a good try. Too hot for Grobbelaar to hold initially, but he knocked the ball down within his own range.
Well, any time they've tried to get in behind Liverpool, they have caused them problems, Martin. And Rob Edwards is very unlucky. You do feel if it had been anywhere else, but down Bruce Grobbelaar's throat, they might have just got themselves a goal.
Here's Jones. Houghton. Gardner really hasn't got close enough to him. Carr getting his head to the cross. Walters looking for space behind Tanner and for Naylor to fill it. Liverpool have had some difficulties in the centre of their defence, where Wright and Tanner hasn't always been a partnership that's been in total harmony. That's in recent games. They also found these lively Crewe attackers sometimes difficult to track down in the first half here. But in the other half of the field, Liverpool have been magnificent. So many things in the first half here that are good in the game. Passing, vision, movement off the ball.
You know what it's like, man. It's a type of game where if you've got young pros at your club and you want to teach them good things in the game, you'd love to bring them here, sit them in the stand and say, watch Liverpool in the top two-thirds of the pitch, watch their passing, watch their movement, watch their running off the ball, because it really has been too much for Crewe at times.
And there's no disgrace in that for the 4th Division side. They could have changed their natural philosophy, they could have packed their defence, crammed the midfield and just tried to battle it out, but that's not the way of things here. They believe that football should be played with a smile and some style. They found it very, very hard going against Liverpool, who were properly motivated by Graham Souness. Steve McManaman confirmed a splendid start with a goal after 9 minutes from the number 9. And then it was a fairy tale for John Barnes after that in his first appearance since August. And he scored twice at half-time at Gresty Road. It's Crewe Alexandra of the 4th Division 0, and Liverpool looking very much the 1st Division side 3.
Welcome back. Crewe 0, Liverpool 3. Don't forget that Carlsberg Man of the Match telephone number, 0898 500 125. 0898 500 125. Sports bag up for grabs tonight. A big family day out at Wembley later in the season. Give you the result of all that on Friday night, Sky Soccer Weekend. Ron Atkinson, we are not going to get the upset, but this is a glorious exhibition, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not if you're a Crewe fan, it's not. I mean, it's a good lesson for the Crewe lads. I mean, but Liverpool, they've given too much respect, too much room. And Liverpool have just taken them absolutely to the cleaners.
Your pre-match advice was panic. I think you're absolutely right from the moment that McManaman scored after 9 minutes.
Yes, I mean, what they'd done early on, they'd allowed Liverpool to bed down in midfield. They allowed Houghton and Mulby to get good possession. And here's they've set up with a number of passes, close control. Jones makes a very good run off the back of the Crewe defence, spotted in by Houghton. And all of a sudden, he's ahead of the field. Does very, very well here, attacks the box early. And when he hits the dead ball line, instead of just throwing it in, he's picked out McManaman. Now, that's a good finish because he only had about a yard. He had to hit it instantly, and it's a good low shot past the keeper's left hand. You see here, yeah, but the defender's closing. I mean, that's a brave shot. There's a risk that he might get his shins whacked there. But that's very much a lad in form. Confident strike.
Yes, he pulled his foot out of the way very quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, but you see, they've come, basically, and that was the story of the first half, they've virtually come from, almost from their own penalty area with a number of passes and finished up with a strike at goal and not had one glove laid on them, so to speak. You know, there hasn't been a tackle laid on them. Lots of Crewe bodies there, lots of people running hard, but nobody really putting a foot in it.
John Barnes that barely had a kick, and it all of a sudden became the John Barnes show, didn't it?
Yes, I mean, we just pressed the comments, actually. You know, I was beginning to wonder whether John Barnes had, in fact, was fully fit. I mean, they'll think they've done well here to clear that one off the line, Crewe. Now, Sanders, who earlier could have wrapped one in, has a right thrash at this one, and then Barnes, nice as you like, audacious, cheeky, but very much a man of the moment, very much alive.
This is a great angle. It was outrageous, wasn't it? It was a...
It is, but I think it shows a natural reaction. I mean, if you like, that's the first header that they managed to deal with. They coped with that very well. Sanders really lashes this one across the face, and this is something like Dennis Law of old, isn't it? This is a natural predator in the box. Somebody that's alive, somebody that anticipates, and somebody that knows, more importantly, exactly where he is. He knew exactly where he was in the penalty box at the time, knew where the goal was, and, you know, all right, he'll consider that a natural thing to do. We all look at that in astonishment and think, how can a fella, hadn't played for months, score a goal like that?
It was a dream. 3-0 very soon afterwards. Again, a difficult goal to take, wasn't it?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I mean, he started the move off. He set the ball in earlier. There's a little bit of play leading up to it. Now it's played out to him on the left-hand side.
That's what I meant about him being strong. Yeah, he's just shrugged everybody off.
He's got good strength here, and he eases a lovely little ball out there. Now watch how he goes back in, and this actually it shows great agility off his so-called worst foot, if he's got a worst foot. But it's great agility because the ball is coming across his body there, and he hasn't got an awful lot of room to, when he gets the finish, and he hasn't got an awful lot of room to sort of adjust his body position. and yet it's thrashed across. I mean, it's not a little gentle lob across him, and that is a magnificent finish.
It was a lovely little ball he played in too, wasn't it? He was darting into the box as he played it, wasn't he? All off balance.
Yeah.
Nudged it out left.
But I think that's come from the earlier goal. The earlier goal has given the confidence, and he's come to life. And as you say, as soon as he played the ball, he was going nowhere else but for the box. And
as Martin Tyler was saying, give Graham Souness credit for playing him. I mean, he needn't have done, presumably, but the hat-trick was on, wasn't it?
Yes, and I tell you what was particularly encouraging about the chance when Grey Goose made the save. Now, you wonder about a fella's fitness when he's been out this long. Now, the ball is edged ahead. Now, he's just leading the pack there. Now, you think there is a possibility, out the game for 3 or 4 months, may have been overhauled, but he's gone strong, he's got quicker, and he stayed through it. The defender's not done bad, actually. He's forced him a little bit wide, and the keeper's made a good block.
I think we've just got enough time, happily, to see the disallowed goal. Difficult to tell from any angle, but maybe momentum just took him ahead of.
Possibly. I mean, you would assume that somebody that's a goal scorer like Dean Sanders, I mean, this is great build-up. Nichols pouring up alongside him here, threaded it nicely, doesn't have to wait, the ball's right into his path. Now, as he shapes this one in, Steve Nicol, you would have to believe that somebody like Dean Sanders would have held his run. He knows his way about a penalty box. When we saw the final picture, he did look well offside, but you've got to try and imagine where he's come from on that.
He was just right of screen there as we saw that, and I don't think he was. You know, you could just see him behind, I think.
Yes, I would imagine that. He won't run blindly into the penalty box. He'll have watched for Nichols' ball. He'll see what's on, and then he'll have timed his run in. But his run, as it happens when the linesman looks at it, he probably thinks, oh, he's blatantly offside. But you know, it's when the ball's last played, where he starts his run from.
Be interested to see the match facts. This could be fascinating. I thought so. Well, they nearly scored from their shot on target, Crewe, but 8 for Liverpool, 3 corners. Well, it's Liverpool, isn't it, basically? And 3-0 they lead. As I said, I don't think we're on for a shock, but it's a glorious exhibition of football. If you like football, this is the place to watch the second half. 0-3 at the moment. Stay there. Welcome back. 3-0 to Liverpool run. I suppose we're counting now, are we?
Yes, whether Liverpool take the foot off the pedal now and say, all right, we'll have a hard league game on Saturday, let's not do anything stupid and just win it in a professional, clinical manner, or whether the likes of Sanders and people like that say they want to add to the goal tally.
It's an absolute treat to watch, must say. OK, Liverpool have made a change, I understand. Let's go back and find out what with Martin Tyler.
Yes, Richard, Mike Marsh is on for Ray Houghton for the second half. It's just a precautionary move by Graham Souness. Houghton's been troubled by a groin injury. There's nothing too serious. It gives Marsh another opportunity to show his versatility. He's been playing further forward recently with McManaman rested. So Marsh is on the right of midfield. Crewe Alexandra. Club, incidentally, named after a pub. Start the second half. 3 goals adrift. And there's no disgrace in that. Liverpool really have put on a show. And they start the second half very much in the same vein, with Saunders hungry for the ball on the far side. Marsh. Jones, who made the first goal. Grey Goose had some problems with the cross, and the danger hasn't passed totally yet. Saunders, Molby, a lot of Crewe players between him and the goal, and the sting taken out of the shot.
Well, if we were looking for an indication whether Liverpool were going to take their foot off the accelerator a little bit, I think that first 30 seconds shows us their intentions. Graham Souness, though, I know Martin very well, is a man that certainly won't stand for his team sitting back and accepting what they've got. He'll want them to push on, entertain and score more goals. That's a certainty.
Some of the older Crewe supporters might have been thinking back to 1960 after a very creditable 2-2 draw here against Tottenham. Crewe went to White Hart Lane and were beaten by 13 goals to 2. On a night when Clive Allen's father Les got 5 of them. And the way Liverpool have played, well, double figures wouldn't be beyond them if they could sustain it. but Gardner finds a terrific ball for Crewe. Here's Rob Edwards. Oh, and Rose coming in very quickly. Couldn't control his header.
Brilliant run again. Once again, they've got behind the Liverpool defence, and that's caused them problem. Rob Edwards must think he scored, but that's a quite magnificent save from Bruce Grobbelaar. And Colin Rose coming in on the end of it. Just a fraction too high for him, Martin. He just couldn't get over it enough to get it down.
But a chance for Crewe, and enough to raise the spirits of their supporters, who had to rather sit back and reluctantly admire the opposition for much of the match.
Funny enough, Martin, the areas we were talking about behind both fullbacks are where they've had most success. They've got in there a couple of times. Look at the strength there of Rob Edwards as he holds him off. But that's a quite magnificent save. I think Bruce deserved this little bit of luck there.
Thomas. Mulvey. Saunders certainly onside this time. And Wilson timed the tackle well. Saunders not settling for letting the ball run out of play. Here comes Mulvey. Walters in the way. Good turn from Naylor, a terrific turn. Left two in his wake, Tanner and Mulvey. And he's found the pass as well to Rose. No one except Liverpool would begrudge Crewe a goal here. Barnes. McManaman. Chased by Rose, faced by Callaghan, and McManaman's gone a long way, and when he seemed to have gone far enough to really find the range, I don't think he could quite believe that he'd got as far as this.
I think he's allowed to come so far. John Barnes was there. I think Dean Saunders just comes across. You can see it there. They just get in each other's way a little bit. But that was a super positive run from Steve McManaman.
Off the ball, Thomas is doing likewise as Marsh takes it on. Thomas takes it from him in the end. I don't think Marsh was too pleased about that. McManaman's cross, and it was always the goalkeeper's ball. Looking for Hignett. He confronts his close friend, Rob Jones, again. Walters. Oh, and Liverpool came out purposefully again. Saunders. He wants a goal. But he's still in the role of provider here. It's a corner. Liverpool work the short corner. McManaman coming across the line of Callaghan. Calmly done by Carr. Well, a minute or two ago, Colin Rose roaring in on the rebound off Bruce Grobbelaar. But as Andy rightly pointed out, it was just too high for the substitute to control the header. Cut out by McKerney. Edwards and Gardner from Hignett's pass. got in behind Liverpool, and Edwards does likewise again here. That was unfortunate. It's been so fast and furious, we haven't had a chance really to talk to our touchline reporter, David Livingston. Let's have a word from him now. David.
Martin, after half-time, I talked to both managers. Dario Gradi obviously terribly disappointed. He says his young team just froze in the first half. But he says he switched things around. It's just simply man for man now and just go for it. He says, let's enjoy playing against one of the great footballing teams in the country. Graham Souness, for his part, says this is the kind of game that you just don't want to have time because his team goes in there thinking they've won the game and they can relax. But he says the kind of football Liverpool are on is the kind of football which made the club famous, and he wants more of it, and he certainly wants more goals.
Walters. And the Rose losing out to Tanner. Here's Molby. It's Barnes on the ball, it's Saunders in the centre. And you can be sure that Crewe will keep going here, hoping for a break. Just hoping to make some dent in Liverpool's mood, which is carrying really all before them at the moment.
The only thing they might be guilty of doing now, Liverpool, and I hope not, because it would really spoil a little bit the second half of what could be in store, was if they just overplay a little bit too much. If when they're in that last third, they take an extra couple of passes on it, because in the first half they were brilliantly positive when they got in there in the last third.
Edwards. Even in defeat, Crewe are stating the case for the smaller clubs, the production line that they provide to give young talent the opportunity to play league football. When you think that Crewe have played such a major part in the development recently of the likes of David Platt and Jeff Thomas. Rob Jones since then. Marsh and Thomas almost getting too close to each other, but they solved the difficulties. Here's Hignett. Now Naylor. Just driven further wide than he would have liked by the pass. But he's played with real confidence. He's not frozen at all tonight. Tony Naylor is the name.
Well, a very positive run, but really quite poor defending at times from Liverpool. We allow him into the danger area, and I think Bruce is quite happy to see that one bounce off his chest, go for a corner.
Edwards, Hignett, that will be another corner. Came off the head of McManaman.
Tell you what it was as well, a corner right out the Liverpool copybook, Martin. Liverpool love to play that one to the corner of the box and then play a straight ball back in towards the byline for the player taking the corner, running onto.
Up goes Carr. Oh, that was Callaghan.
Well, I have to say, Martin, if they don't get a goal tonight, I, for one, will be bitterly disappointed. The general players really deserved it. And how this doesn't go in, I'll never know. It's Carr that goes up, it's Callaghan that volleys it. And how does that stay out? All it wants is the merest of touches, and that's in the net.
Aaron Callaghan doing the intercepting there. Past international at under 21 and youth level with the Republic of Ireland. And he hit it with such power from such close range that you really expected the Crewe supporters to get their moment and the players to pick up a goal that their enterprise has merited. Molby. Once Saunders coming across the eye line of Aaron Callaghan then. Nearly pinched the ball. Rose. McManaman. For Barnes, the goalkeeper's come, and John Barnes, understandably at this stage, isn't going to overstretch. Simply pleased to be playing, and his 2 goals really have been a bonus for him. There's no offside. It's Colin Rose on the right for Crewe. Hignett in the middle. It's beyond him, but the ball's still in play. Here comes McKerney. Gardner. McKerney. Liverpool had regrouped and are seeking to regain the initiative here. Hignett. Well found by McKerney. Walters is free inside him, but Hignett didn't really spot that. He was looking further afield. A little rolled pass into the stride of Walters then might have unhinged Liverpool. Mulby. Liverpool won't be allowed to relax here, which is continuing to make this match a spectacle. But Crewe are gambling in their tactical style, as David Livingston told us from the touchline, marking man for man at the back. There's every chance they'll be caught out again. But it's the most spirited showing from this club, which is rightly regarded as something of an academy of the lower divisions. And Naylor's been an irritant to Liverpool, and they're trying to sort him out now.
I think, to be fair, I was most surprised that the referee didn't give a free kick. I don't know whether he has, Mark, but he really has come in from behind Mark Wright and really sorted out Tony Naylor then.
Well, Mark Wright, 40 caps for England. He's captained his country as well. Having difficulty with a striker who really has no pedigree as yet in the game, but has been super for Crewe. And he turned so sweetly again then. John Barnes is playing up the middle at the moment with Dean Saunders. McManaman's gone to the left. It was something we touched upon at the start of the evening. And Graham Souness is just going to have a look for a spell in this game. Maybe the remainder of the match. We must wait and see. Naylor. It's another easy turn. Can he get his shot away? Not quite. Thomas. Wilson will cut it off, and Hignett on this near side is offside.
I'll tell you what, though, Crewe's attitude and application and the way they've set out in the second half has really got the supporters going, isn't it, Martin? You would never believe, if you just walked into this ground right now, that they were 3-0 down.
Well, it's an absolute joy to be here, and I do hope the mood of the evening is coming through to you at home. The fans are loving it.
Fuck off, right, you wanker.
One or two passes have gone astray, but there's been no lack of aim in that respect. Just like that. Rose, Wilson setting off. McManaman's had to go back with him, showing that he's got a good appreciation of the game. Steve McManaman. It's not all about attacking, although he's had plenty of opportunity to show off his skills in that respect. Marsh. Oh, there's 2 against 1 here. Callaghan happy that the ball ran on for him. Rose. Look at Callaghan again. I watched Crewe train on Friday morning, and the whole session was about passing and moving, and a high degree of technique exhibited, and It's not that they've got the measure of Liverpool, but they've battled their way back into the second half to show off what they've been working on in training. Marsh. Here's Thomas.
To be fair to Crewe, Martin, really, on the positive side, they really have caused Liverpool some problems right throughout the match, created good situations. What has let them down has been the defensive part of their game. They just haven't been able to cope with Liverpool. Perhaps, as Dario Gradi did say, they may have frozen in the first half. That was always a chance.
Mulby. McManaman. Rose trying to help out Wilson, but Wilson didn't need too much help in the end. He made the tackle, but it's a Liverpool corner. Not too much room to approach the corner for Saunders. Right. Matched well by Gardner, I think it was. Mulby. It's a brave header by McKerney as the free kick is given in his favour. A football club in Crewe, because in the old days it was such an accessible place, they even, more than 100 years ago, played FA Cup semi-finals here as a neutral ground. And Aston Villa played Glasgow Rangers in the semi-final of the English FA Cup, the FA Cup, when Scottish clubs were allowed in bygone times in Crewe.
You're going to tell me who won that game as well, aren't you, in a minute?
We'll keep you guessing, Andy.
Having played for both clubs, Martin, it's interesting stuff.
Well, if you look at the Rangers records, you won't find an appearance in an FA Cup final. Here's Mulby. Saunders and Barnes almost inconveniencing each other. Here's McManaman with such a distinctive style. Jones has got into the centre. How he'd love to get his first Liverpool goal in these particular circumstances. He's still offering them an outlet on the right, but they look on the other side to Nicol, coming in on the burst. But Crewe on that occasion stood their ground well.
Yes, I think a combination of better defending and perhaps feeling more comfortable about being actually on the same pitch as Liverpool has certainly made them defend better in the second half.
No, the flag does have to stay there. Dean Saunders never really approached his task fully relaxed then. Callahan. Here's Rose. Minutes gone in the second half, and it's still as we were at half-time. Crewe 0, Liverpool 3. 2 goals for John Barnes, in case you weren't with us then, after the opener from Steve McManaman. Nicol. Thomas stuck well for him. And there are signs there that Liverpool are beginning to recapture the rhythm of the first half. And what you can say about Rob Jones is that he's looked a Liverpool player from the moment he joined the club, which really is a compliment. They are absolutely delighted with him.
Yeah, I remember watching his debut, Mark. I think it was against Manchester United, wasn't it? Away at Old Trafford.
Yes, he's quite used to being live on television.
I tell you what, he looked one of the most composed players on the Liverpool side. I was very impressed with that match.
And Walters is also under scrutiny from Liverpool. Steve Walters has got an unfortunate handicap. He suffers from a blood disorder. He has to take anti-inflammatory tablets. He missed a lot of last season through illness. Just taken the edge off his play. And if the medical men can get it right, he's another one for the future. McManaman. Well, reality in the third round of the FA Cup has taken over from romance, you could say here. But watching this match, you do feel that at both the respective levels, the game is in good hands. Marsh. Hoping that Barnes would be darting into that area. Combination lacking for Liverpool. Naylor. Terry Holbrook hasn't had a difficult problem really to deal with all night.
No, nice to see that this has been something that's been few and far between tonight. But to be fair, Rob Jones has had to work probably as hard as any Liverpool defender, Mark, because they have tried to expose him and have exposed him once or twice tonight.
Here comes Bruce. A mixture of the brilliant and the bizarre, and always worth the admission price. And still Liverpool's goalkeeper. He's defied doubters for a long time, and there have been questions again this season, as there have been about Saunders. But he's come up trumps. Mark Wright makes his way forward. Typical Liverpool short corner. Molby. Oh, and Wright was free, but the ball was inches too high for him.
Well, Jan Molby showing a fine turn of pace there and puts in a wonderful cross, but very much like the chance that came at the other end, the ball just fractionally too high for the incoming player, Mark Wright, on that occasion.
Jones in first. And the next challenge, the honours went to Darren Carr. Saunders is offside.
And it's challenges like that that'll go towards helping John Barnes' confidence as well, Martin. Having been out as long as he has been, if he gets tackled like Darren Carr's just tackled him and he gets up and walks away from that, that'll boost his confidence.
Marsh. Jones is a better passer over the short distance. Oh, Barnes, brilliant for Wright. Now, is there going to be a Liverpool shot at the end of this? It comes from Saunders. Ball striking Walters. Oh, and Rose has looked the wrong way. There's a ball on the other side of the field to Hignett. And he was very disappointed that it wasn't spotted. Barnes is offside. I remember him getting a hat-trick at Coventry at the end of the season a couple of years ago. He's still searching for a third here on a ground where Ian Rush got 3 in the League Cup last season. And the return of Barnes balancing out the setback to Rush over the last few days. Thomas, Barnes up with him. Thomas has a sight of goal, and it was Callahan who diverted the shot. Jones. There's Mulby. Jones has stayed forward. But this time Liverpool passing the ball rather in front of the Crewe defenders. They won't mind that too much. But that could change. McManaman. Here's Barnes. It's an exercise in keeping the ball at the moment. Barnes and Saunders. You might claim he was being fouled there by Darren Carr.
I just think you might have a case here. This is a beautiful ball in from John Barnes, right into the danger area. I tell you what, it looks a penalty to me, Martin. I thought so at the time, and I think so again. Darren Carr's gone underneath Dean Saunders and denied him a goal there.
After a spell of play when it looked as though Liverpool had 15 players on the field. Walters. Offside. Dario Gradi is making his second change. And they get even younger, the Crewe players. 18-year-old Neil Sorvel replaces Darren Carr. And Sorvel will broaden his experience, which is very limited, considerably.
I'm sure that's all the thinking behind his decision there, Mark, because Darren Carr's played very, very well second half. Didn't do so badly first half either. And I think he's probably saying, Dario Gradi, I've got a young kid here, let's stick him in for 15, 20 minutes. Let him see what it's like to play against one of the big boys in sort of certainly British football.
McManaman. Oh, and it came off Sorvel to give Saunders a chance for 4, but he got back. He stuck to it. Neil Sorvel, in the end, survived. Well done to him for that.
Yeah, well done, young man, indeed, Mark, because a lot of players would have been standing there with their head in their hands, thinking they conceded a goal. He was having none of it, got back. That's good habits. Well done, young man.
Variation on the Liverpool theme this time. Try and pull Crewe out. Thomas. It's a good tackle by Wilson. Well, just really for the first time, a little of the pace has gone out of the game. The point Andy was making earlier in the match. Players coming into the third round of the FA Cup this year. Closer, it seems, to the holiday programme than in the past. Always used to be a free week before the third round. It certainly wasn't with the New Year's Day fixtures, but Liverpool and Crewe having the benefit of 2 extra days over the clubs that played on Saturday.
I think what also is affecting Crewe probably, Martin, is the fact that they've been without the ball for long periods in this game. And the most tiring part of playing football is when you're chasing the ball and when you haven't got it in your possession. And they've had to do that for long spells during the match. And that really does tire you.
Walters still trying to probe from the centre of Crewe's midfield. And Dean Saunders conducting a personal crusade to try and get on the score sheet. Composed play by Callaghan, not for the first time tonight. 25-year-old Dubliner. When Crewe first entered the FA Cup, they lost their opening game 10-0, and they must have felt after half an hour that 100 years on, it was going to happen to them again. But they've grown in stature. And they continue to look for a goal which would certainly lighten the closing stages for them.
I guarantee you, if they got a goal here, Martin, it would be like, the noise would be like them scoring the winning goal.
And that's because they crammed a maximum amount of spectators in here tonight. In fact, a little more than the permitted amount, the limit at 7-4.
There's a lot of Rob Jones's family here though tonight, Martin.
Barnes with a race with Sauval. Well, the word hat-trick was forming on my lips.
Yeah, and you fully expect John Barnes to do this, don't you? There's the answer if he's suffering, if he's lost any pace. Definitely not. Ordinary players would have just gone in and smashed the back of the ball. Not John Barnes. If he's going to get a hat-trick, he wanted to do it with some style.
Well, 2 goals within 4 minutes in the first half. Both beautifully taken. One-touch finishes, as the players call them. Saunders screening it cleverly. Mulby. Saunders. No one's worked harder. Well, I set him up, didn't I? But John Barnes is feeling the pace now.
Yeah, but there'll be no happier man, I tell you. I mean, Graham Souness will be a happy man tonight, but John Barnes will be absolutely delighted. First game back, getting through it. I mean, this is 90 minutes. That's money in the bank for him.
He's been gasping for air as Crewe had the ball, but he's got it back from them. And the waltz was underway. And then the band stopped playing. It's very good news for the English game, though, with the European Championships coming up in the summer.
Certainly. That's a good news for Scottish supporters, obviously, Martin. John Barnes back in fine form. But as Scots, we're just delighted to be there, of course.
Jones. Saunders still hunting. And Thomas Muskell, no. Well, he's seen the funny side of it.
Well, we've seen 3 chances there in a matter of seconds. First, Dean Saunders. Michael Thomas thinks that's in the back of the net. John Barnes thinks that's my hat-trick. Not to be. Dean Greygoose wasn't having any of it. 2 fine saves from the goalkeeper.
Well, he was beaten 5 times in the first leg of that League Cup meeting last season. 4 times in the second leg, and only 3 tonight, so...
We'll be looking forward to the next game.
Exactly. Nine minutes to go. Mulby. Here's Nicol, who's been playing left side midfield in recent First Division games and is in that area and even further advanced now. And Greygoose did well to get to it, let alone hold it.
Yeah, what he has shown tonight, Martin, when he's been called upon and when he's been able to get his hands on the ball, is a very clean pair of hands. I mean, that sticks brilliantly there. Super save again.
Sorval winning a header against Saunders that he'll be proud of. Rose. But Liverpool could have knocked it back to Grobbelaar then, but they are trying to maintain the momentum. Certainly hasn't been a conscious decision to slow the game down in the second half. Walters. Now Wilson. Let's join David Livingston down on the touchline again. David.
Martin, after that last frustrating miss from John Barnes, he was blowing a bit, and Phil Borsma in the dugout shouted, asked him if he was okay. He said, yes, I'm okay. He's going for a hat-trick.
Marvellous control again from Barnes. McManaman, Saunders and Marsh keeping pace with him. Here's Marsh, who scored this season in the European competition. Wasn't looking to add to that. Rose. McKennie. Now Edwards. McKennie looking to loop it over Mark Wright, very nearly achieving that. Jones and Marsh not really able to set Liverpool off again. Well, it didn't quite come off for Rob Jones, but you could see the thought in the pass. And here is Barnes now, and Saunders still scurrying into positions that might add to his tally of 16 so far this season. But it was offside then.
And you're quite right, he's worked as hard as anyone tonight, Martin. Looks very hungry for goals.
Thomas. Barnes and Saunders up with him. And now Molby as well. Thomas has got a great angle to cut the ball back. Now Marsh. Well, there were some dissenting voices on both sides then. The football has flowed from Liverpool's midfield in the second part of the second half, but the final ball has lacked the thrust of the first half. And Crewe's best spell immediately after half-time, when they attacked their problems with great gusto. Nicol. What an asset to Graham Souness he's been in these trials and tribulations with all the injuries. We've mentioned Ian Rush, of course. Poor Ronnie Whelan still striving for fitness. Gardner. Okay. To go. Oh, and there's acres of space here for McManaman. Can they play it right this time? Marsh. McKennie took some of the sting out of that.
That was very well hit shot as well, Martin. Just as well Dave McKennie was there and put his foot in. But it's been a thoroughly entertaining game. To be fair, it's the type of game, if you're a footballer, you want to get down there, and Liverpool players would have enjoyed playing in it, because they knew they would be given the room to pass the ball about.
Here's Naylor. He'd certainly walk off the pitch, his head held high. I think the Crewe fans felt that that was always going to be the biggest problem. They saw it last year. If they're going to cause a cup upset, it's because they outskill the opposition. That's their way. But outskilling Liverpool, it's a very tall order. And as we move to the second half of the season, well, Liverpool are finding a consistency now that will be somewhat alarming. Some of the other clubs who've done better over the first half in the First Division. Saunders.
Certainly Liverpool are capable of making a mockery of the thoughts that certain people might have that the league title is a two-horse race, Martin. That's for sure.
And one or two of us have tipped them for the FA Cup.
You never take a chance, though, do you?
Hignett. Too much angle towards Grobbelaar as he was trying to pick out Edwards. Let me just remind you that Liverpool are 11 points behind Leeds United in the First Division with a game in hand. And that they are sitting pretty in this third round FA Cup tie, thanks to coming here very much in the right frame of mind and attacking the game from the off. Liverpool really asserted themselves, got their reward for that. And for all Crewe's good intentions, it's always been their game. And Jones pushed down. He's earned a penalty. Pushed by McKerney, and we've got an interesting situation here because John Barnes, who's on a hat-trick, had a penalty saved last season by the very goalkeeper he's going to confront now. A push. So John Barnes takes a deep breath. He's been taking several of them over the last few minutes, and he scores. 4 for Liverpool. 3 for Barnes. Grey Goose went the right way, but it provides a perfect finale for Barnes and for Liverpool at Gresty Road.
Well and truly back, John Barnes, isn't he? That's him. He's told the footballing, certainly the footballing folk of the English First Division, I'm back in business. His first game, a hat-trick. What more could he ask for?
What more could Graham Souness ask for? It's the strength of management to make a decision that others might have just shelved for a week or so. And Liverpool certainly had the first word here, and they've provided the final chapter of a very entertaining story. One-sided it has been for much of the night, but I'm sure you, like us, will have admired Crewe and the part that they played. But it's Barnes who has the spotlight, and Liverpool have brought an air of reality back to the third round of the FA Cup. And after their huge problems at Peterborough, they have coped very well here at Crewe. Barnes with 2 inside 4 minutes in the first half after Steve McManaman had given Liverpool a lead after 9 minutes, and then the hat-trick in the final minute of the game from the penalty spot after Rob Jones, a Crewe product, and that's what Crewe Alexandra are very much, a breeding ground for young talent in the game. Jones had been brought down for the penalty, and it's Crewe Alexandra 0, Liverpool 4. John Barnes, if he's got the breath, is talking to David Livingston.
John, how are the legs after that?
Not after that, after the first 15 minutes they've gone. I just can't get on memory after that.
Clearly the old magic's still there. How easily did it come back?
Well, I think the main problem is the fitness. You know, I don't think he lose too much touch or ability, but I think it's the fitness is the main problem. So, although, as I said, I was tired maybe after 20 minutes, I just had to keep going just to get the fitness.
It was noticeable towards the end that that Phil Boersma was signalling to you, do you want to come off, you're feeling too tired, but you were obviously going for that hat-trick.
Well, I've scored a lot of twos and I haven't scored too many hat-tricks. But they did me a favour by putting me up front, so I didn't have to chase the fullback too much. But I think it's just a question of getting games on the belt now and just getting the fitness back.
How difficult has it been for you when you've been away and heard people question Liverpool's championship and cup ambitions?
It happens every year. Everything goes through a sticky patch, and as soon as Liverpool start going through a sticky patch, you know, they question their ability. I'm just glad to get back. You know, I've been out for 4 months, so hopefully now I'll get a few more games and the fitness will come maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Congratulations. Well done. Thanks very much.
Crewe the chance to invest the financial rewards of tonight's match and to return their thoughts to regaining their place in Division 3, the place that they lost last May. And if you find your thoughts straying as to what might happen over the second half of the season, let me leave you with the fact that Liverpool have lost only one of their last 16 games now. They were supreme here tonight at Gresty Road, and they've beaten Crewe Alexandra by 4 goals to 0.